Between Christmas and New Year's, Americans waste 5 million tons of food. That's according to an I Love Clean San Diego, an environmental nonprofit. Executive Director Pauline Marinson joins me to talk about how San Diegans can reduce holiday waste and maybe feed those who are in most need. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so Thanksgiving, we tend to eat a lot, and we also tend to waste a lot.
Yes.
So what do you do with all of that excess food?
So the statistics, really speak for themselves. There's so much waste that happens between Thanksgiving and New Year's, and so those provide a problem in a couple different ways. Food waste, when it goes into our landfills, creates methane, and that's a really powerful toxic greenhouse gas. And so we're contributing to climate change by wasting so much food. We also have 48 million Americans that go hungry, and 15 million of those are children. So we want to make sure to feed the hungry first, and even before that, reduce our consumption.
So environmentally, it is wrong from the standpoint of homelessness. It feels wrong that we should be doing something with all that food. So, I mean, what can you do? You got a refrigerator full of food. You're not going to eat all of this potato salad or whatever. I mean, can you really find a place for it?
Sure. Well, a lot of the food that's wasted is the perishable items, so different fruits and vegetables. And so if you can do some planning ahead of time on your meals, that really helps with food, reducing food waste, but also organizing your kitchen and your refrigerator to make sure to have those items front and center, and really going to use those first before grabbing for the potato salad.
Right. Yeah, it seems like you have all this ambition to cook during the week when you go to the grocery store. Then at the end of the week, you have all this stuff in there that you're not even using. And it just feels terrible that all that food could be going to waste. But all right, let's say you've done that, especially this week when you're making sure you have enough to feed all the relatives. Is there really somebody who's going to take my apples and pears and cranberry sauce?
Sure. So there are a few different groups that take perishable food. So they're called gleaners, and they're volunteers that will come and take any excess citrus and vegetables, maybe that you have a lemon tree and you can't use all those lemons, and then they'll provide them to organizations that feed the hungry. There's also a lot of food donation centers, Food Bank, Mama's Kitchen, that will take mostly non-perishable items. And so you can find those on I Love a Clean San Diego has a resource for that called Waste Free SD.
Well, on the other side, though, I tend to hang on to stuff for a while. I'd be a little worried that I could get somebody sick if I give them something that's maybe been sitting around too long. How do I know?
Sure. So they have a lot of guidelines for that, these centers. We also partner with the county of San Diego, and they have different instructions and tips on food storage. So a lot of it's just, making sure it's sealed up, and maybe if it's not supposed to be wet, putting a paper towel in there, and that'll help last you a few extra days.
And if you can't give it away, maybe it's time to compost it. I live in an apartment. A lot of people do in this city. Can I still do that?
You can. There is vermicomposting, so it's using worms, and you put it in a contained container. So there's a lot of resources, again, on I Love a Clean San Diego's website for how to do that. And then we want to just make sure that smallest piece is going to the landfill. So we start, by reducing our consumption, giving it to feeding the hungry, feeding animals, composting, and then the least bit going to the landfill. The
least bit, and that least bit includes what is it, fats and stuff like that, stuff people might be pouring down the drain, because it's a real problem with that, especially if there's not as much water in the sewers these days.
Sure, yes. So fats, oils, and grease, which we usually cook with around the holidays, should not go down your garbage disposal in your sink, and it will cause problems with the sewer. And if we have any backlogs with that, then there's a lot of oils going into our oceans and stormwater issues. So there are programs to take those back to into the landfill and be processed correctly.
All right. So where do you go if you want to get these tips on how to handle all this food waste?
I Love a Clean San Diego runs a database called wastefreesd.org, and you can also give us a call too. All
right. Executive Director Pauline Marinson. She's with I Love San Diego Clean Cities. Thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you.